What is up, my friends on the internet? Back at it with another video, and on today's video I have some big news. But before we get into the big news, I need to talk with you a little bit about where my head's been, what I have going on in my life, and why I have kind of been led to make this decision. So let's get into some story time. Alright, so basically, the start of this long tale, which hopefully I will keep under 10 minutes. I don't want to ruin you guys with this video, but there is a big reveal, so stick with me. But basically, I got into the habit of watching content that really spoke to me. It was content about tiny houses, a van life, minimalism, just simple living. A lot of adventure bike stuff where people are just like living off of their motorcycle with just the belongings that they have. Just kind of really roughing it a little bit, but in a kind of a modern explorer kind of way. You have fewer things, so you're weighed down less and you can travel more, you can explore more. It frees up your finances to where you can make more adventurous decisions. Like, sure, I want to go to Austin, Texas right now for a bike night. I can do that because I don't have all of these loans weighing me down. I don't have all of these things that I have to take care of. And shout out to the Minimalist. They are a channel. Well, hopefully I'll put their little channel here. Little channel, huge channel. Big channel about living small. They were a huge inspiration and kind of drove me to this decision because a lot of the things that they were saying really resonated with me. So with that being said, I was kind of looking at all of my stuff. I started just kind of paring down all of my belongings. You guys may see that in a lot of these videos. I'm wearing the same clothes because I made my closet as minimalist as possible. As minimal as possible, however you say that properly. I got rid of a lot of clothes. I used to be a really big sneaker guy. I got rid of a lot of sneakers, a lot of shoes, a lot of clothes. I got rid of a big watch collection that I once had. There's a couple other things that I shouldn't talk about on YouTube that I got rid of a lot of. But yeah, I have just been cutting back, and I realized that didn't really apply to the vehicles that I have. I realized that a lot of my belongings were just vehicles. I have a lot of bikes. Right now you're sitting on top of the Honda Super Cub. There's a bunch of stuff right there that we can't talk about just yet, but you guys have watched the videos. You guys see that I have a lot of bikes. I have cars. There's just stuff. Stuff, and that stuff felt like it was beginning to weigh me down. I have all these projects that I'm working on, and it's hard to get any of them done. So you start stressing out about this bike needs that, this car needs that, and nothing is getting to that finished point. We all know that projects are never finished, but they never get to that point where I'm happy with them. I feel like they're always a work in progress and not this thing I'm proud of. Early on in this channel's life, I had a Kawasaki Versys 650, and I got that bike to a point that I considered it done. I absolutely love that motorcycle. For those of you that keep asking, I guess I never actually said it on camera, but I did sell that bike. I love that bike. I love that bike. If you want a Kawasaki Versys 650, get one. Especially if it's that Gen 1. Amazing motorcycle. I miss it often. But I did sell that bike. And since then, I think I've been chasing that high. Chasing that like complete finished build that you're proud of. You pull it up somewhere and people are like, oh my God, look how cool this is. Which I know that's coming from a place of privilege. Having all of these bikes and all of these cars, maybe that's a blessing if you believe in that sort of thing. Maybe that's hard work if you believe in capitalism. But yeah, I had a lot of stuff, and I was starting to lose sight of how awesome that was, how great that was that I have all this stuff. And I was just kind of like looking back on this thing that was honestly lesser, really like fanatically, or I don't know, through like rose-colored glasses, you know. I miss those days. I miss the days of having a bike that was my everything, that I put all of my attention into, and I just loved it, and every penny went to it when it was time to modify something. All of my miles went on it. I miss that simple riding, because that's a thing that every time I look back at a time in my life when I was the happiest, I had one bike. When I had the Versys, I was really happy. When I first got into riding and I had a Vespa P-Series, it was a P150 with a 166 Melosi kit on it. I cut it down, I threw all the Go Fast bits on it. I love that bike. It was a rocket ship. It was as fast as you could make a two-stroke Vespa. And I loved it. I was just happier having this bike that at the time probably cost me $2 grand, and I probably had another 1,500 bucks in it total. A bunch of my man hours, a bunch of my friends' man hours, a bunch of my friends' parts. It just felt more like the community that I want to belong to, like DIY culture. Shout out to the guys at Prism Supply, also a really good channel. I'll throw that up here. They do a lot of DIY stuff. They do have lots of bikes, but it feels more communal. It feels like everybody's lending a hand, everybody's getting their thing working, and that's what I remember from the vintage Vespa days, and that's what I remember from the Versys days when I got into ADV riding. So I kind of want to get back to that. So I started thinking about what I actually want to do with a motorcycle, what I actually want to do with a car. As far as car ownership goes, you guys see that I sold my Beetles, I sold the Fiat Spider. All I have now is a Volkswagen Jetta GLI, which is right there. I'll roll a picture of it up right here. I have this GLI. I put some coilovers on it. I put a bunch of stuff under the hood. I'm gonna throw some cool wheels on it. And it's just gonna be a daily, like a daily that's fun. I had to just kind of be real with myself about which motorcycles were actually getting used, and it was pretty clear because motorcycles have odometers on them. I could look at those odometers and see how the mileage was stacking on them. There were some bikes that were getting more parts put on them, but they weren't necessarily getting more miles put on them. And at that point, it felt like I was making videos on those bikes just to make videos. I wasn't doing something that I was passionate about. I wasn't doing something that I was enjoying, and I wasn't doing something that best served me. And if I'm not best serving myself, I can't best serve you. You can't make good content until you feel good about what you're doing, I think. That's how we keep channels genuine. That's how we keep creators genuine. And that's what I am attempting to do. So when I started looking at the bikes that I was riding, a lot or a little, it became very clear. For starters, the Vespa. The Vespa I cannot actually part with. When I acquired it, part of the deal was that I would never sell it. I have to have that bike forever. If I don't keep that bike, I have to give it back to the guy that gave it to me. And I like it. So that bike is staying. It feels authentic. Next up is the Harley Dyna. The Harley Dyna I really, really enjoy. Something about that bike just feels like it's built to last. It feels like it's something that you just keep wrenching on and keep altering and just keep alive, and then you pass it down from generation to generation. There's so many 40s, 50s, 60s, and definitely 70s Harleys rolling around. So clearly they will survive. HarleyDavidson and its aftermarket have also done a really good job at keeping the parts coming. So if you need to get something for an old panhead, knucklehead, shovelhead, whatever, the parts are out there, and they are definitely out there for Dynas. But for some reason, me and the bike just never fully connected. I really do think it's a great machine. I love that power plant, but I never really got around how heavy it is. I understand that weight is why it's so stable on the highway. That weight is why it's so stable at speed. But it being a Dyna, of course, it wasn't actually that stable. Not the greatest chassis from Harley-Davidson, but I still really enjoyed it. But for some reason, we just never fully connected. I like the heritage of the company. I like the ruggedness and how agricultural it is. All those things are things that appeal to me. But the bike just didn't give like only bike vibes to me. Anytime I had like that bike, I was out riding it, I kept thinking about like, what if I had no other bikes? What if I only had the Dyna? And it never quite felt right. So I, as you can probably imagine, sold the Dyna. The Dyna is no more. I traded it in. And then we have the Honda Trail 125. I love the Honda Trail 125. I really think it's one of the best values for money in motorcycling, and especially in ADV riding. When I made the comparison video between the Honda Trail 125 and the Honda Super Cub 125, I said if I could only pick one, it would be the Honda Trail 125. And the more I rode both the bikes, the more I tinkered on both the bikes, the more I just kind of interacted with them, the more I realized that that wasn't actually the case. The Honda Super Cub just the overall classic lines of it really speak to me. I don't just like a motorcycle, a car, or whatever to work really well. I like it to look really good. I am very vain with the way my vehicles look. They have to be pretty. And to me, the Honda Super Cub is pretty. This epitomizes what a beautiful machine can look like. The Honda Trail, to me, is very agricultural. I love it in that sense because it's just really rugged and it's like macho, and it's the most manly of the mini motos if you're attempting to be manly on a really small motorcycle, which I am not, but many of you are. It's aggressive, it's nice, it looks like it's ready to work hard. The Super Cub doesn't necessarily look like it's ready to work hard, but it is. I've had this bike down tons of trails. I've taken it in all kinds of conditions. When the weather's bad, I find myself taking it because I'm like, yeah, this thing is gonna handle really well. It's light, it's maneuverable, it has really good coverage. The other day it was storming, and I ride every day even if it is storming, and I took the Super Cub because to me this is the bike that was gonna be best prepared for that. And I had the Dyna sitting there, I had the Trail sitting there, and I still took the Super Cub, which to me meant it had more staying power. So it has had more staying power. I have sold the Honda Trail 125. I understand that a lot of you are here just for the Trail 125 content, and I may be alienating you with this, but I felt obligated to be honest with you about how I got to this point, because you may too get to this point. I'm hoping that you guys will stick around and watch the videos because there's still going to be lots of mini moto stuff that you can relate to. There's going to be a lot of Super Cub videos. I'm going to be borrowing mini motos from dealerships, from friends. I'm going to demo days. I have one lined up for a week from now. I'm going to go do a demo day. There's going to be more of that same kind of content where I'm tinkering and riding on small bikes. But it came to the point where that bike was no longer serving me. And with it being one of the fleet, I wasn't properly serving it. At the point when I sold it, it had 500 miles on it, which is a single day of riding for me on some other bikes. So I realized I wasn't using it as much as I should be, so I parted with it. What actually happened is a little video I will roll up here. I took my Honda Trail and my Harley Dyna to the dealership, and I traded them in on the bike you are looking at now. A bike I am very pumped on, and that bike is a brand new Triumph Street Scrambler. Let's roll a cinematic of my new bike. So there it is. That's the new bike, and I kind of want to just round this video out by telling you what brought me to that decision. If you guys watch my shorts, I actually went to the dealership to look at the Triumph Scrambler 400X for a few reasons. I love Triumphs, as you know. I love small displacement bikes, small to middle weight displacement bikes, and it was a new bike that everybody's talking about. I thought it would be really great to get some videos. I thought it would be really great to make content, kind of comprehensive reviews and some torture testing of a new model. That is something people are going to be searching for on YouTube, and obviously I need to be posting things that people want to watch if I want to get more views, more subscribers, yada yada yada. I know that a lot of people will leave because there'll be a little bit less trail videos, so I thought maybe that would be a bike that could get me some new subscribers, some new watchers, just kind of reach a broader audience. I love the Trail, like I said, but I don't want to be a channel that's only known for the Honda Trail. I need to be doing other things, especially if it's something that I actually want to do. I'm gonna do an actual video on that bike, but I went to the dealership, and the long and short of it is, I think you get what you pay for. The bike is very cheap, but if I'm gonna have a bike for a really long time, if I'm gonna keep a bike and work on it and ideally have something that is so near and dear to me that I can like pass it down someday, I want to start with a product that's as premium as possible to give myself the best chance of it lasting. And buying the cheapest bike that Triumph makes doesn't necessarily scream that, while I do like it. So I started thinking, what is a little bit more premium and still a scrambler? I looked at all the major scramblers. I am also getting a package delivery from Amazon right now. Be right back. So that was a really nice Amazon guy for one. Shout out to the Amazon guy. But for two, I started looking at other scramblers. That one wasn't for me, but I looked at the competitors. I love Triumph, but I'm not necessarily married to Triumph, so I looked at the Royal Enfields, the Himalayan and the Scram 411. But the quality just wasn't there for me. I think they're really good motorcycles, but I think they're also good motorcycles for the price you pay for them. And I wasn't looking for the best deal. I was looking for something that felt really, really premium so that I would like not fall out of love with it, so that I can keep it really long term and always look at it and be like, dang, that's really nice. So those kind of got out for me. I think they'd be great as a bike that I had for a year or two, or did some reviews on, or did some like test rides on, but I don't think I want them to be my main bike. And then I looked at Ducati and BMW's offerings, both really nice, but honestly they were just too expensive. I'm in this weird little middle ground where I want the product to be premium, but I also don't want to pay premium prices. I think it's like the Volkswagen guy in me. I want the Euro quality, but I want it to be cheap. So that led me straight back to Triumph. Not to say that Triumphs are cheap by any means, but they are very premium, and I think you get more than you pay for when you start looking at the kind of bigger modern classic stuff. That 400X is nice. For the $5 to $5.5 grand you're gonna spend on one of those, I think you're well getting your money's worth, but I wanted a little nicer. I wanted better suspension. I wanted better brakes. I wanted just like more premium brands to be listed on the bike, which led me to the Street Scrambler 900 here. It is the street twin that I know and love, but with high pipes and knobbies, you know? I even thought about getting a street twin and just putting more like kind of scrambler stuff on it, but this deal presented itself. The dealership I work with really hooks me up. They gave me a nice discount. They gave me good value on my trade-ins. They made the tax disappear somehow. They did a lot of wonders to kind of make this deal work for me, to where not only was I breaking even, but I was actually like saving some money. So yeah, I can't be happier, honestly. The bike is everything I want it to be. It's quick, it's light, it's premium. It's really, really usable, really, really functional, and I'm just happy with it. So that is that. I love each and every one of you. I hope you stick around because I have a lot of good stuff to bring to you, but if you don't, I understand. The trail is gone, the Dyna is gone. It's scrambling time. Thanks guys, I will see you on the next one. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, bell, everything like that. Have a good day, y'all.